In 2009, a reporter sat across from a 73-year-old man and asked him a simple question. If the price of your hot dog ever goes up, what does that mean? His answer? That I'm dead. He wasn't joking. A few years earlier, his own CEO had walked into his office to warn him they couldn't keep selling it. Jim, we can't sell this hot dog for $1.50 anymore. We're losing our rear ends. And the man, Jim Sinegal, co-founder of Costco, looked at him and said, if you raise the effing hot dog, I will kill you. Figure it out. That hot dog, a quarter-pound dog, and a 20-ounce soda for $1.50 hasn't moved in price since 1985. Not through 3 recessions, not through a pandemic, not through the worst inflation in 40 years. And here's the part that should bother you. Costco loses money on every single one they sell. That's not a mistake nobody's gotten around to fixing. It's the whole secret to how a regional warehouse chain turned into a company worth more than $400 billion. And to understand why losing money on purpose can build an empire, you have to go back to a man most people have never heard of, because Jim Sinegal didn't invent this idea. He learned it from his boss. In 1954, a young lawyer named Saul Price opened a discount store in San Diego called FedMart. Working the floor as a bagger was an 18-year-old kid named Jim Sinegal. Price had a strange obsession for a retailer. He didn't want to mark products up as much as he could get away with. He wanted to mark them up as little as possible, just enough to cover costs and survive. Everyone else in retail was trying to extract the most from every sale. Price was trying to extract the least. Sinegal watched this for years, climbing from bagger to executive, absorbing a philosophy that made no sense on paper but somehow built a thriving business. In 1976, Price launched something new, Price Club, a members-only warehouse where small businesses could buy in bulk at razor-thin margins. It was the birth of the Warehouse Club. And when Sinegal finally struck out on his own with Seattle retailer Jeff Brotman in 1983, he didn't build something different. He rebuilt his mentor's machine and called it Costco. Sinegal would say it plainly years later. He didn't learn a lot from Sol Price. He learned everything. By 1993, Costco and Price's company would merge into one. The student and the teacher's life's work fused. Now, here's where most people get Costco completely wrong. You'd assume a company that sold over $250 billion worth of bulk paper towels and rotisserie chickens makes its money the obvious way, by selling things for more than they cost. That's how every retailer on earth operates. Costco doesn't. The company caps its own markup at 14% on every regular item, 15% on its Kirkland signature brand, even when it could easily charge more and customers would still buy it. For comparison, traditional retailers routinely mark products up 25%, 50%, sometimes far more. Costco voluntarily walks away from that money, so if they're barely profiting on what's on the shelves, where does the profit actually come from? The membership card in your wallet. Membership fees make up only about 2% of Costco's total revenue, a rounding error on the balance sheet. And yet, in recent years, those fees have generated well over half and at times close to 3/4 of the company's entire operating profit. In 2024 alone, membership fees brought in $4.8 billion. And because that money costs almost nothing to collect, nearly all of it drops straight to the bottom line. In other words, Costco isn't really a retailer that happens to charge membership. It's closer to a subscription business, something like Netflix, that happens to come with a warehouse attached. You're not paying for the products, you're paying for entry. And with a 90% renewal rate, almost nobody cancels. Which brings us back to the hot dog. Once you understand the membership engine, the 1.50 combo stops looking like a quirky tradition and starts looking like the most efficient marketing tool in retail history. Costco doesn't need the hot dog to be profitable. It needs the hot dog to make you trust the entire store. If a company will sell you a hot dog and a soda for 1.50 cents and lose money doing it, then surely the giant tub of olive oil 2 aisles over is actually a fair price too. That feeling, the sense that you found a deal nobody else would give you, is what keeps people walking the aisles looking for the next find. And it's exactly why Costco's food court has been called the public face of the entire company. The hot dog isn't a side business. It's a trust machine wearing a bun. The rotisserie chicken does the same job, sold for less than it costs to produce, on purpose year after year, not because Costco loves chicken, but because every underpriced item is a small, repeated proof that the membership fee you paid was worth it. But the membership model does something even bigger than build trust. It builds leverage. Because Costco guarantees suppliers access to tens of millions of loyal, paying members, it can negotiate harder than almost anyone else in retail. Suppliers will accept thinner margins from Costco because the volume and certainty make up for it. That same financial cushion lets Costco do something most retailers consider reckless: pay its employees significantly above industry norms. Over 90% of Costco workers qualify for employer-sponsored health insurance, compared to under 60% across the retail industry. The result is one of the lowest turnover rates in all of American retail, meaning less money spent constantly hiring and retraining, and a workforce that actually wants to give good service. It becomes a loop. Underpriced products build trust. Trust drives membership renewals. Renewals fund higher wages and supplier leverage. Better paid, longer tenured employees create a better shopping experience, and a better shopping experience drives more renewals. The hot dog isn't outside that loop. It's the cheapest, most visible piece of evidence that the loop is real. So when Jim Sinegal threatened to kill his own CEO over a hot dog, he wasn't being sentimental. He understood something most business leaders never figure out. The $1 or 50 combo isn't the exception to Costco's strategy. It is Costco's strategy, distilled into something you can hold in one hand. It's been the same ad campaign for nearly 40 years, and the company has never once needed to update it. So the next time someone tells you a business has to squeeze the maximum profit out of every single thing it sells, remember this: one of the most valuable retailers on the planet got there by deliberately trying to make as little money as possible, on purpose, on every hot dog, every single day.